Hello everybody and welcome to another week in the adventures of Will's Barbecue. Today we're going a little bit different. We're going to make an ooey gooey, we're going to make a vegan brisket. How's that? No offsets today. These things are heavy. These things are expensive too. Can never find my gloves. Hands always get so dirty. I think I might have broke a nail. Fire. Not today. Global warming's a thing. Climate change is a thing. Cut down trees, more like hug trees. Wood for fire. I've got an oven. I suppose you could use fire. Get some of that matchlight charcoal and put some lighter fluid on there and it'll be warm in no time at all. I'm even wearing my vegan hat today. Look, I've got a little flower. Anyway, if you're new here, like and smash and pound and do whatever it is you're supposed to do. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing. It's gonna be oaky. It's gonna be smoky. It's not gonna be a no jokey. Maybe artichokey. Let's get to it. What we have today is a nice organic piece of tofu. They say if you want a good slice of tofu, you gotta start with a good piece of tofu. Organic, extra firm, nothing about cages. Pretty sure it was cage free. Free range. The guy at the store said this was definitely not grain finished. I don't know where tofu runs wild, but I'm sure this was a free range tofu. Happy tofu is tasty tofu. All right, so let's just cut this bad Lawrence out. And you want to be very careful. It's a little bit juicy in here. People don't know this, but tofu is actually really juicy. Look at all these natural juices all over. Get them all over the cutting board so we can work with it. Makes for a good product later. That is a nice piece of tofu right there. You don't see that just anywhere. All right. So what I'm going to do today, I've got some avocado oil because you got to be extra expeller pressed stuff. I'm gonna go Central Texas style, so we're just gonna do some coarse ground pepper and some kosher salt. And since we're not gonna use that pesky offset, we're gonna be using liquid smoke with a tamari mixture injection. Avocado oil, coarse black pepper, coarse kosher salt, genuine liquid smoke. No trees were hurt in the process of making this video. And organic tamari sauce. It's gluten-free. None of that pesky Worcestershire stuff. Worcestershire. All right, here we go. We've got our nice cut of tofu right here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put on some gloves right here because we don't wanna have any kind of cross-contamination. So put this up here and we'll get our avocado oil on this thing. So I don't necessarily always like to use a slather. Some people like to use olive oil, extra virgins. I don't think anything should be virgin. I like to use avocado oil myself. Now I'm going to go in there with some coarse ground black pepper. You want to go kind of just so it comes from the top. You want to get a good coating on here. This is what's going to build your bark. You want to get all the sides over here. Make sure you get all of them equally. Boom, boom, boom. And over here. So make sure you do the presentation side last. All right? So that's what we're going to be working with here in the end. So we've got a nice layer of pepper on here. So let's come in with the kosher salt. Get a nice little bark over here. This is a good size of tofu, so don't be shy. You're not going to be able to oversalt this. Make sure to get all the sides, and that is looking pretty good. All right, now we need to mix our injection. Oh, come on. Don't be silly. This is way too big. All right, we're going to take our liquid smoke. Ah, delicious. And then we're going to take our organic tamari equal parts into the injection. And that's looking pretty good. Okay, and there we go. So now we're gonna inject this bad boy. So what you wanna do is put it right here at an angle. And you're gonna wanna make a nice checkered pattern when you put this in there. So just stick it right in there and plump it up. You can see it running all over. You can see that's plumping up real nice right now. Okay, now that we're injected, I'm gonna let this sit on the counter for an hour just so that salt can penetrate. We're gonna do a little bit, it's not a full dry brine, but we're gonna let the salt penetrate. It's gonna get moist on the outside, and it's gonna absorb that flavor right back in. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, it's been an hour, and this hunk of tofu is looking mighty fine. You can smell the smoke, you can smell the tamari, you can feel the soy, right? You can tell that it's organic by the way it plumped up, it's staying plump. And now it's getting time, we're gonna put this bad boy in the oven. All right, so now we're gonna light our fire and then we'll get this ready to put in. So you have to be very careful when lighting the oven, when starting the oven. There's a lot of buttons on there and sometimes it can be very confusing, okay? Okay, so we're gonna go over here, and so on my oven, I'm gonna be using a convection oven. If you know what that is, that means there's a fan. Okay, so I've just started my oven and it's warming up. So I'm gonna do a hot and fast cook here. A lot of people like to do their vegan briskets, tofu briskets, low and slow, but not me. I'm definitely a hot and fast guy when it comes to vegan briskets. Here we go. Gotta be very careful when you place it on there. You don't want to disturb everything. This is gonna hold it real nice. So we're gonna put it in the oven here once it gets up to temperature. We'll put our probes in there and we'll monitor this guy very closely. All right. I'll come back when it's time to put it in. All right, boys and girls and everybody else. All right, our pit's up to temperature here. You can see we're rocking a solid 350. I've got my signals on here, and you can see I've got a nice looking tofu brisket in there, and we're gonna cook. Even though I've got the probes in there, I'm gonna be cooking to feel, not necessarily temperature. I am gonna use the temperature as sort of a guide though, so I can, kind of see where we're at. So I've got the pit temperature in here. I've got a probe in here. And we'll let this guy go to sleep for a while. All right, looking good. Wow, this is gonna be amazing. Okay, you guys, so we've been on the pit for about an hour now, so it's getting time to spritz. Let's take a look. It's looking pretty good. You can tell bark set on there nicely. So I'm gonna use a 50-50 cut of almond milk and water. There we go. Let's get it. You want to wait until the bark's set before you start spritzing it. There we go. That's looking pretty good. All right, we'll let that guy back in there and we'll probably see him when he's done. You can use spirulina mix in there if you want, if you're looking for a little bit of a sweeter profile. Or you could even add some soy sauce in there if you just really want to hit the soy. Wow, I wonder if we can make that into a shake. I'll be back. All right, you guys, this is about done. We've got an internal temperature of about 209. I think that's just about perfect. I'm going to take it out of the pit right now and let it rest. Probably going to let it rest for about 2 hours. Let those juices just kind of mingle back in and reabsorb. Let everything get perfect. 1 second, I'll be back to show you what it looks like. All right, we're looking pretty good right here. You can tell we've got a nice bark. Everything's really, Nice and tender. Look at that, no resistance, just on the crust, no resistance. We're looking at 210 over here, 210 over here. We're rocking 210 over here. That's just a nice even cook right there. We're gonna let it rest for a couple hours here. Now would be a good time if you were doing vegan brisket burnt ends. You could chop the end off right here, and you could cut them into cubes, and then you could put them back in the pit for a little while. You could put some sauce on there, some soy sauce, tamari if you want, gluten-free. I don't know, are they all gluten-free? Or if you're, you know, really disgusting, you could go into that or, you know, that sauce. All right, so we're gonna let this sit for a couple hours, and I'll come back and we'll cut it up and we'll get right to it. All right, we'll see you in a minute. All right, our vegan brisket is ready. It's well rested. If you wanted to do a longer rest, you can keep it in the oven at about, you know, put it on the warm feature, or, you know, put it as low as it can go and let it rest there. Let everything render all the way out the rest of the way. We put this on the counter for a couple hours, let it get down to temperature, and he's looking pretty good. So let's cut into him and see how we did. All right, we're just gonna cut it right down the middle here. Look at that. Look how juicy. Oh my goodness. Ooey gooey, it's just coming out of there. No. All right. So we're gonna take a few slices out of here. Looking good. That's the one problem with using liquid smoke, is you don't necessarily get a smoke ring like you would in one of those fire machines. These are looking pretty good. This is the part we make the burn ends out of. Right here. You can take this over, chop this up. This is the best part of a vegan brisket. All right. And that's looking pretty good. Let me bring you guys in for a drive-by. Look at that. Hi, Daisy. How are you? Hi. So there we go right there. That's what we did. Should be proud. All right, now's the time. We're gonna taste test our vegan brisket right now. So we got the burn ends right here. We got our flat part right here. I'm just gonna take a little bit of the flat. Look at that, bin test, looking pretty good. Pulls apart nice. And let's take a bite. If you don't like food, you're gonna love this recipe. That's bad. You wanna try this?
Hell no.
Ah, my God. Make sure to make this for your next party. Trust me, everybody will be talking about your vegan brisket. I can honestly say this is the best vegan brisket I've ever made. This is a lot of brisket for one person. I'm probably going to donate some to the fire department. This is so bad. Well, and there you have it. Central Texas style vegan brisket. Like no other. Like I said, make sure to make this for your next parties. It will definitely be a hit. People will be talking about it for years to come. You can trust me on that. Yeah, that's about all I've got. Thanks for watching. If you've got any comments or suggestions, feel free to leave them. I imagine there might be a few. All right. Well, I don't know. I saw a guy put mayonnaise on a steak, so what are you going to do? All right, everybody. Have a good day, and we'll see you next time. You want to taste test a brisket? Want to taste test a brisket? What are you spit it out for? You want to taste test the brisket with him? What's wrong? You don't want to eat it? Taste test it. Come on. You'll eat it. Daisy ate it. See? They love it.